Hey, what's going on, guys? This is my Turning Point 2009 pay-per-view review. I really wanted to do this right after the pay-per-view ended, but some things came up and I just couldn't get it done. But yeah, I pretty much agree with everyone else. I thought it was an excellent pay-per-view. I'm not going to say this was phenomenal from top to bottom. I was kind of bored through some of the matches. Some of the matches I was kept saying to myself, I can't wait until the main events happen. So, I found myself kind of daydreaming through some of the matches, but I thought the Homicide Amazing Red opener was great. Like Truth Slayer said, like some other guys said, they didn't kill each other. It wasn't really a spot fest. This is more of a hold for hold wrestling kind of match, and I thought it was great. Definitely a really fun opener. I think Homicide definitely deserves to be in the main event scene. However, his character, the real Homicide character, is very edgy for television. So I'm not really sure if he'll ever get to that point, if it ever gets to the point where Homicide is booked against AJ Styles for the world title, which I think would be awesome. Him and Samoa Joe have great chemistry as well, but I don't know if Homicide will ever become a main eventer in TNA, but he definitely does have that ability. He's kind of old. I think he's already 33 or 34, so the clock is ticking for Homicide, but I thought him and Amazing Red put on a great match. It was kind of the women's match, I really cannot stand the Knockouts division, but really wasn't into it. The next match was the Triple Threat Tag match. Beer Money, British Invasion, Motor City Machine Guns. Really good while it lasted. I really wasn't a fan of the ending, though. I thought the ending really took away from the match. But, while it lasted, it was good. I think those are three great tag teams, and they could definitely do a lot more in the future. The Awesome Kong versus Tara, a.k.a. Victoria match. I had high expectations for it. I thought it pretty much delivered exactly up to my expectations. Pretty good finish. I thought it was fine. The six-man tag, to tell you the truth, I was kind of bored through it. The Matt Morgan, Pope, and Hernandez versus Team 3D and Rhyno match, I was really bored through it. I thought it went too long. This was the match where I kept saying, I just can't wait until the Nigel Angle match takes place. So next up, we had Scott Steiner and Lashley. Really wasn't paying attention to it at first. Looked kind of sloppy to me. I don't know. It looks like Bobby Lashley might just be a temporary thing. I would really like to see a Bobby Lashley Angle match, though. It's a lot of people hate on Bobby Lashley, but there's some intriguing matchups that I think we could do with him. So let's just get right down to it. This is what I really want to talk about. We get Nigel McGuinness, a.k.a. Desmond Wolfe, versus Kurt Angle. This is definitely a dream match for me. If you would have asked me, a couple months ago, what are your top 10 dream matches? I think Nigel Angle would definitely be high on that list. So it was definitely a dream come true to see this match take place. It's kind of like too good to be true, to tell you the truth. I still can't believe that this actually happened, and it definitely lived up to expectations. I mean, if you were hesitant to buy this pay-per-view, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you, because I had some question marks about the booking of this match, and I was kind of worried about the chemistry that Nigel and Angle would have and the crowd reaction. I was thinking maybe some of the crowd would kind of shit on this match because they really didn't know who Nigel is or who Nigel was. So I was kind of worried about that, but it definitely surpassed my expectations. I thought it was a great match, a great wrestling match. The crowd was great. The crowd was chanting, this is wrestling. They were chanting, you're both awesome. I definitely did not expect that, so that was great to see. Angle looked great. For 40 years old, I still think he's still the man. And Nigel looked very healthy. I thought that the counters were great. The London Dungeon, or what was it, the Tower of London. Angle countered that into the Angle Slam. Thought that was a great counter. Like the hold for hold submission wrestling was great. The counters from the Angle countering the London Dungeon into the ankle lock. Nigel countering the ankle lock into whatever submission he would do. So the submission wrestling was great. Angle knows how to bump for the lariat. I'll give him credit there. And for as good as this match was, I still think they could top it. I think they could still do a lot more. They could do a lot with the rebound lariat, like a lot of sweet counters. You could see like Nigel going for the rebound lariat, Nigel like going under the ropes, and then I could see Angle like sprinting towards Nigel and just putting the ankle lock onto him while he's like doing the duck. And then they could do the jawbreaker lariat. Angle counters it into the Angle Slam or into a German. They could still do a lot of things. So I'm glad they're having a rematch at Final Resolution if that's going to happen. Uh, this is just an excellent match. Angle busted out a frog splash. He busted out a moonsault, and I just thought it was great. And the finish with the triangle choke from the side, or the triangle, the triangle choke from the side. I thought that was a great finish. Something different. So yeah, Kurt Angle still has it. Him and Nigel are having a. I thought the feud and the build up was fine. It was the Nigel promos were a little bit repetitive. I could agree with that, but I thought this match definitely lived up to expectations and probably even surpassed expectations. So the triple threat match, you get Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels versus the TNA champion AJ Styles. I thought it was great. I definitely was not expecting this to live up to the Unbreakable match because nothing can compare to that match. That's a once in a lifetime thing where everything just clicks. So it's kind of unfair to compare the two matches, but just judging this match on its own, it definitely lived up to my expectations. I thought it was great. These three gentlemen just have amazing chemistry. I mean, I could think of three better wrestlers. I say Aries, Nigel, and Danielson are three better wrestlers, but for as good as those guys are, I seriously doubt that they have the same chemistry that AJ, Joe, and Daniels have. I just think these three guys just click every single time. They clicked all the time. Even their Ultimate X match, I thought that was great. So, but here I thought it was an awesome triple threat match. This is kind of like a rebirth, or the second coming of Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe. I really thought they kind of reinvented themselves in this match because let's face the facts. Both these guys have been struggling over the past couple of years, especially Daniels. He's definitely been out of the spotlight since Kurt Angle came on to TNA. And Joe's had a tough time with injury problems and weight issues and booking problems. So Joe had a lot to prove here, and both those guys definitely stepped up. I thought both of them looked great. AJ's been phenomenal since 2002, so I wasn't worried about him. But yeah, this has a lot of great wrestling here. I thought Daniels looked really impressive. Daniels actually did he had Joe in a dragon sleeper kind of submission, and then he took AJ and then he just rock bottomed him onto Joe. I thought that was a sweet spot. AJ actually busted out the Fosbury flop, which he rarely ever does. I think that was the first time he busted it out since Turning Point 2005. And trying to think what else happened here. Joe was really stiff in this match. It's good to see. See, Joe can work a stiff match with guys like AJ and Daniels because they're able to take it. So we got to see the real Samoa Joe here, and I just thought the chemistry was insane. The crowd loved it too. They were chanting, "Screw Hulk Hogan," "This is wrestling." The crowd really appreciated it, and this is definitely why I love TNA. They keep putting out stuff like this. I will definitely support them. I definitely think they still have a great roster, even though they definitely did drop the ball in 2007. They could have put on the greatest year in the history of professional wrestling with the roster that they had. So I don't know. I mean, but you can't look back now. All you could do is look forward, and I definitely think they could still make an impact. They definitely still have the talent to do it. My favorite wrestlers are in TNA: Kurt Angle, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Nigel. I mean, so they just have. I mean, I will definitely support this company. As long as they keep putting on stuff like this, I will definitely support them. And I will give TNA credit. Every time they put on they book a pay-per-view that looks good, they usually do deliver. And when they put together a card that looks like shit, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a shit pay-per-view. So I just wanted to say that. From top to bottom, this was not a spectacular pay-per-view. I'd probably say it's arguably the best mainstream pay-per-view of the year. You could definitely argue that. Maybe No Way Out, maybe WrestleMania. I don't know. It's debatable. But the two main events did deliver. But from top to bottom, it wasn't spectacular. So yeah, that was my Turning Point review. I thought it was great. But one more thing I want to say: I will be doing a top matches of the year countdown like I did during the summertime on my old account. Everyone voted for the top 5 matches of the year, and then I put together a music video. So I definitely want to do the same thing again. I'll do an official video for that coming up. But yeah, so Turning Point was great. Definitely check it out on DVD, and that's it.